Good afternoon, everybody. Beautiful day we're having here. I want to take a second and say thank you to Chancellor Blank, faculty, family, friends, parents, and of course, you, the 2020 graduates. It's a privilege and honor to stand before you today. I cannot thank you enough for this invitation. I am humbled, I am grateful, and honestly, a little bit nervous, a little bit sweaty, but that's okay, because I have a surprise for you guys today. I brought my friend, Larry O'Brien, to help me cope with that sweatiness and that nervousness. I figured it'd be a little bit tough to hate on the NBA championship trophy. Bucks in six, Bucks in six, Bucks in six. So, I'm going to start with a question I asked myself when Chancellor Blank extended this invitation to me. Why would the University of Wisconsin, one of the most prestigious universities in the world, ask me, Pat Connaughton, to speak at such a momentous event? And so I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking about a few of the potential thoughts that Chancellor Blank may have had. The first one, he's a professional athlete. Pro athletes don't usually have that much to say, so you guys should get to the after party pretty quick. The second one, he is from Boston, has a loud voice, probably has one of those funny Bostonian accents, so no one should fall asleep. The third one, as was alluded to earlier, he's a graduate of Notre Dame, and hold on, wait for it. He's a graduate of Notre Dame, and they are on our football schedule this year, so it may be a competitive advantage if we start some psychological warfare the week before the event. Or the fourth one that came to mind was the Milwaukee Bucks did just win a world championship, so this may be the only opportunity we have to get the trophy to campus. But in all seriousness, whatever the reason may be, they say there's some truth to every joke, right? But I believe one of the reasons I was asked to speak to you here today was because I'm fortunate to have the privilege to work alongside superheroes. I am fortunate that on a daily basis, I can learn from these superheroes. They are literally superhuman at what they do. They are the best of the best of the best. And today, I would like to take the moment to share with you guys, class of 2020, what I have learned from these superheroes. My hope is that it will be of some value, some real significant value as you move forward. After all, you guys, as a class, have had to show a certain superhuman strength of your own. So, about these superheroes I get to interact with on a daily basis. There's the obvious. They're towering figures who leap with impossible ease, who fly down the court with blinding speed, and whose mental makeup allows them to stare down the most pressure-packed situations with a sense of icy calm. But what distinguishes these superheroes from the rest isn't so obvious. You've all seen different MVPs in professional sports. We have 3 of them right here in Wisconsin. Giannis, Christian Yelich, Aaron Rodgers. So you guys have probably seen their superhuman abilities up close. I get to interact with one of them on a daily basis, and I've been able to witness what makes him a superhero. In the weight room, on the practice court, in his recovery routine, through his pregame focus, in his friendships, and who he is as a family man. being surrounded by Giannis and other superheroes across the NBA, I am reminded every single day that there will always be people stronger than me, faster than me, and better than me. There will always be people who can do things that I cannot do. When you're striving to be your best amongst the best, there is a constant feeling of discomfort, of self-consciousness, and a fear of mediocrity that may make you shy away from. But early on in my career, I learned that those were the exact people that I wanted to be around. I needed to be around. The ones who were doing what seemed impossible and in the process, challenging me to be better. Challenging me to be comfortable with being uncomfortable every damn day. So here's some questions I want to ask you to think during this speech. Who's somebody that really challenges you? Who's another person that really challenges you? Who's somebody that's perceived to be better than you at a certain skill? Who's another? Do you admire these people or do you envy them? Do you interact with these people or do you shy away from them? Our lives are an endless carousel of decisions. But what's influencing your decisions? Is it desire or is it fear? I've learned the fear of failing does not resonate with these superheroes. They thrive off pressure. They take adversity in stride. They regret nothing and learn from everything. For it's not about avoiding regret. It's about savoring the moments in which you were able to maximize your talents. Those are the moments worth building on. My goal is to help you think more critically about your dreams and how you plan on achieving them. At a young age, like any young athlete, I had dreams, goals, aspirations. My father taught me the importance of hard work, time management, and accountability. That the outcomes of my goals had a cost, and time was that cost. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. How we utilize those 24 hours will directly relate to what you're able to accomplish. Growing up, I had two major goals, a short-term goal and a long-term goal. My short-term goal, I was in 6th grade. I read a Sports Illustrated for Kids article on Vince Carter and how he was able to dunk by the time he was in 8th grade. I was obsessed with dunking on my mini hoop in the basement. So I told my dad I wanted to be able to dunk on a 10-foot rim by the time I graduated 8th grade. The problem? My physique was equivalent to that of a marshmallow. I was about 5'6", and I kind of looked like the Pillsbury Doughboy. My father bought me a weight vest, and he said how I used or did not use that weight vest over the next 2 years would determine the outcome of my goal. It was about the decisions I made when I was tired, when it didn't seem like there was any progress from the week before, when my friends were going to the park, and the consistency in which I made those decisions. My first dunk, April 21st of my 8th grade year. And I remember that feeling like it was yesterday. My long-term goal was something that I wished for when I blew the candles out every year on my birthday. It was the dream to be drafted in 2 professional sports, the MLB and the NBA. And I can tell you all of the stories about being cut by all-star teams in middle school, working out for 8 hours a day in high school, and being laughed at by NBA scouts in college. But there was one that aligns well with what I want you to remember from today, because not everybody is going to believe in you. I had just thrown a no-hitter my senior year of high school. And after the game, my athletic director stopped me to make an introduction. It was a local guy whose son was somewhat of a legend in my area. He was playing at Fenway Park that night for the Washington Nationals. His father was friends with our athletic director, who mentioned I had a dream of someday being a pro athlete. And at this time, if there was even a sliver of a chance of me becoming a pro, everybody, and I mean everybody, was sure it was going to be baseball. After seeing my performance alongside about 20 MLB scouts who were there, he was kind enough to stick around and give me some words of wisdom. Those words, 90 straight minutes of how dumb it was to play 2 sports in college. That it would be the most detrimental thing I could do for my chances of becoming a professional athlete. He actually predicted it would ruin my collegiate career as well. But I learned something that day, something that might be a little bit different than what you may think after hearing a story like that. I learned that treating somebody with kindness and respect, even when you vehemently disagree with what they're saying, is a skill that you must have in today's day and age. Because there's opinions, and their opinions specifically, those who don't believe in you, have absolutely no effect on what you can accomplish unless you let them. And what I learned after accomplishing something as far-fetched as dunking, at least for, 12-year-old Pat who had just finished his 3rd Twinkie, never say never, because limits, much like fears, are often just an illusion of our imagination. And what's funny about that particular quote I just mentioned, I saw it the first day I stepped into an NBA facility printed on the wall. And I quickly realized every last one of the 450 NBA players had a similar, if not more impressive, story than I had. So to bring it back to the superheroes I referenced, what separates them if hard work, time management, and accountability are a given? What knowledge can I give to you here today that will translate far beyond my playing surface? It's their mentality. Their goals are mapped out. They know what they are striving to accomplish, and they work backwards to figure out the skills they'll need to get there. They aren't just working hard, they are working hard on specific areas of their craft. They stay in the present. Our minds are a binary thing. It's impossible to think of 2 things at the exact same time. Go ahead, try it. It's hard. I just tried it. It took me a while. I didn't graduate from Wisconsin. We get into trouble when our minds skip from the past to the future and vice versa, in turn skipping the present. The past, it will bring out guilt and frustration based off what just may have happened. The future will bring out fear and anxiety based off what could happen. But the present is our reality. It's what is actually happening. The present is about focusing on the moment, not the environment surrounding the moment. For example, Game 6 of the NBA Finals. 2 minutes to go, up by 5, chance to win Milwaukee's first NBA title in 50 years, the entire world watching. That's a hell of a moment. And there were countless others throughout our playoff run. You and your classmates are really smart and talented individuals. You have attended and now graduated from one of the best universities in the world. But your natural talents alone will not get you to be the thoughtful, caring, successful adults that you can become. As you enter the workforce, continue your education, whether you go into accounting, teaching, engineering, finance, zookeeping, or anything in between, there are things you can do to make yourself successful. Things that will make your world a better place. It starts with the hard work 12-year-old Pat grew to love. It continues with the mental fortitude Giannis used to stay in the present and make 17 of 19 free throws in Game 6 of this year's NBA Finals, the most he's ever made in a playoff game, on the biggest stage to solidify his Finals MVP award. In my opinion, there's one other thing that you can take with you that I use on a daily basis. I like to call it collecting people. I would not be where I am today if it weren't for the people that have surrounded me. Athletically, they've helped me reach the pinnacle of sports, an NBA championship. But in the business world, a world a lot of you will find yourselves in, I have been fortunate to learn from countless mentors. I've gone from flipping $100,000 homes to developing $15 million buildings in about 5 years. Not because I'm the smartest guy in the room, but because I know I am not the smartest guy in the room. Find out who is. Listen to them. Ask them questions. Follow up. Cultivating a genuine relationship is invaluable because it's not always about what you know, but who you know. You have a university that is vast with an alumni network willing to lend a helping hand. I know this because I've been lucky enough to learn from one of them. One of the best this university has ever produced. And what he's taught me, it's about surrounding yourself with good people. Giannis, he's a better person than he is basketball player. And the world has seen how good of a basketball player he is. Your fellow alum, who I was referring to, Ted Kellner, he's a better person than he is businessman. And he's one of the most successful businessmen this state has ever seen. If you're wondering, his name's on that hall right up there. It's no coincidence that good things happen to good people. Sure, the answers are different for everybody. Your path is not mine, but the core values remain similar. So set your goals. Be deliberate and intentional about the work you put in. Figure out what you want to accomplish. Assess your own strengths and weaknesses. And develop a plan specific to the skills needed to achieve that goal. A lot of people work hard, but not a lot of people work hard on things that directly relate to their goals. Maximize your 24 hours. There's one thing that none of us can get back, and that's time. We're all gifted the same 24 hours in a day. How you prioritize those 24 hours will determine your success. Be present. Learn from the past. Be inspired by the future, but live in the present. Build your network. They say your network is your net worth. Be stubborn about who you let in, but be deliberate about keeping them in. Be humble and work hard. The true measure of a person's success isn't about what they've accomplished individually, but how many others they've helped along the way. And finally, there's one thing that ties all of this together: consistency, relentless consistency. I am not the most talented player in the NBA, and I am not, by any means, the smartest businessman. My confidence comes from the consistent work ethic that I put in. And your work ethic is within your control. So control it. Because in the real world, there is winning and there is losing. There will be bumps in the road. Failure is inevitable. But how you respond to failure, that's your choice. In closing, I'd like to say thank you again for the opportunity to pass along any bit of advice that might be useful to you in the future. If you haven't already thanked your parents or the countless people who assisted in your journey, thank them. If it wasn't for them, you would not be sitting here. And if you remember anything out of this whole address, remember this: we all have the potential to be superheroes in different ways. But it's the journey that makes it worth it. The superheroes I've witnessed over the last decade, they didn't focus on the results. They focused on the process of getting better at their craft and being better people and enjoying the journey on a daily basis. So, congratulations on becoming graduates of the University of Wisconsin. I wish you the best on whatever journey you choose. Remember, I was just a 12-year-old kid who loved double stuffed Oreos. But from this year on, for the rest of my life, thanks to this trophy, I will always be known as an NBA champion. I'm excited to see what you all accomplish. And although I may be on another sideline next weekend, go Badgers.